So we go to how sociologists study the society. Basically, we've talked about positivists, which are part of the structuralists, the feminists, the functionalists, the feminists, the Marxists. They are all positivists. But interpretive, the difference between them. So when you talk about how sociologists study society, is basically the difference between how interpretivists and other forms of sociologists study the society. The other forms are mostly, they are positivist. Do you understand? So the decision between positivist and interpretivist approaches to research method. One, for positivism or positivist, their approach is to concentrate in producing quantitative data. That's about positivists. They want to make research based on data. They want to be objective about whatever they do. So they want to figure out information or facts. That's about quantitative data. So I wrote, it is an approach that concentrates on producing quantitative data, which means that it is based on information and facts that takes a numerical form. So they believe that there are laws that can be discovered about social behavior. So they believe that if researchers carry out quantitative data, their result will be objective. So the difference between positivists and interpretivists is this. For positivists, they believe that the scientific approach can be used to carry out or to know more about individuals in the society. That they believe that there are laws that could come into place, like sciences, like physics, like the laws in physics, the laws in chemistry, that there are laws that could help human nature. That's how they feel. So they believe that we can discover these laws to know more about how the society would work. These are positivist approach. Do you get the point I'm making here?
Yes.
Do you get the point or not? No. For positivists, they believe that we can use scientific approach to understand social behavior. Scientific approach to understand social behavior. Okay. Do you get it now? Yes. So, but the criticism about it is that scientists are not objective. They believe that if we don't use scientific quantitative data to carry out our research, we will be biased. Why? Because we are carrying out the research based on our values, what we believe on. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So for positivists, they believe that research that are not quantitative are not objective because you don't have figures and facts. Do you understand? They believe in figure and facts. These are positivists. So that's why they carry on experiments. They carry on experiment surveys to give them figures that they can work or they can bank on. So that makes them to think that they are objective. Do you get the point here? Yes. So what is the criticism about the scientific approach? Excuse me. Scientists are not objective because they are guided by their values too. For them to have decided to choose what research is all about, it means they are not objective. So basically what we're saying is this. For positivists, people believe they are not objective. Why are they not objective? People believe they are not objective because for them to have thought about making a research on a topic, it means they believe on that research. They believe on that topic. That's what the topic they love. They left others. So that makes them biased too. You're not getting it. Positivists say that interpretivists are biased because they don't use, their research is not based on facts and figures. That is about positivist to interpretivist. So interpretivist said, no, that you are also biased. And they made their point saying that for scientists to choose what they want to research upon, it means they believe in their values too. So why did you choose A, not B? Why did you leave B, C, D and choose A? It means you are biased towards B. You are biased towards C. For the fact that you choose one ahead of others, it means you are also biased. It means you are not objective.
Yes.
Do you get the point now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as a result, that's just the criticism about positivists. They feel they are biased too because they choose a topic ahead of another. So what do they use? For positivists, they use social survey and questionnaires.
Yes.
That is their research method. They use social surveys or questionnaires. And this will give them figures and facts. Do you get it? When you ask questions from people, you think you're going to get information from them. But their questions, the questions they answer might be wrong. They might be under influence to answer you. So that's what that's why interpretivist says positivists are also biased. They might influence people to answer the questions. So when we get to questionnaires, you understand more of what I'm talking about here.
Yes.
You get it? So for interpretivism, they argue that there is difference between sociology and natural science. That sociology can never be natural science. Why? Because humans are active. They are conscious about their society. So they make sense of the society. So how do you want to take them to the lab? They don't belong to the lab. That's the point about interpretivists. So they say humans are active, conscious beings. They make choices. This means sociologists need to understand how people make sense of the society, how people make sense of the social reality around them before they can understand their actions, as these cannot be achieved without in the lab. So basically what they are talking about interpretivists is that sociologists, we are interpretivists because we need to understand how human makes sense of the society before we can understand why they behave the way they behaved. So these things cannot be done in the lab. So that means even human, they have to make sense. They have to divine the society they are into before they can behave the way they behave. These things will never happen in the lab.
The last one.
Interpretivists said to the positivists that they are wrong, they are not objective. That their own approach, their own method is the best because their method involves understanding human, because humans are not chemicals.
Yeah.
Humans are conscious, they are conscious beings. They make sense of the society they have. They can think. They are not something that you can work on, that you have to add blue litmus paper to get to turn yellow. They are not experiments. So as a result of that, we as sociologists, we need to understand what they understand about their society before we can talk about what they don't understand or what they understand. So that means humans have to make sense of the society they are in before they can understand their social action.
Yes, again.
So that's what interpretivists are saying, that they choose their method based on the fact that humans are conscious, they are conscious beings. They need to make sense of the society.
Yes.
So they don't believe using questionnaires and social survey. Rather, they use interviews or participant observation. So interviews are like they one-on-one, they interview people, or they use participant observation. That means they're going to observe you either through, this is covert. We have covert observation or overt. Covert means you're not going to be there. They're not going to know your identity. Your identity is going to be covered, but you are observing.
Like, for example, what?
Like a CID, like an investigator. Like you are investigating people, but they don't know you. They think you are just part of them. You could go into a school as an inspector, but you could dress like a student.
Yeah.
That is covert.
Yes.
Do you understand? You are observing the students, but you are part of them. That is participant observation. Do you understand?
Yes,
so this is what interpretivists use. So for positivists, they use experiment and surveys. For interpretivists, they use unstructured interviews or participant observation. So that is the difference between positivists and interpretivists. Positivists, they use scientific approach, which brings about using surveys and experiments. But for interpretivists, they use unstructured interview or participant observation. Yes. Is it clear? Yes. So that's the difference between positivism and interpretivism.